Watching TV has changed over time. Streaming has become the new norm. That's why Golden State Media Concepts television podcast dives headfirst to the world of cord cutting. Want to be on the loop of what's hot in Netflix? Or if it's not a preference, what about original shows in Hulu? We've got you covered. Join us as we fill in the blanks and talk about movies to stream and what show you should be binging. This is the Golden State Media Concepts television podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the GSMC television podcast. I'm Real Ravina, and I'm here with Junkie Jordan and
the
Smart Shay.
I changed.
She's already been here long enough to know to target me. Welcome to the team.
It doesn't take very long.
Ouch.
So how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just hungry again.
What about you, Jordan?
Yeah, no, I'm all right. Yeah, it's a good day.
It is a good day.
Today is a good day.
Now, today we're going to talk to you guys about Luke Cage, The Defenders, How to Get Away with Murder, and Ash versus the Evil Dead, a personal favorite of mine. Now, to start us all off, we're going to break the ice. And by breaking the ice, what is your guilty pleasure as a TV show?
Well, mine would have to be My 600-Pound Life.
What is that?
It's a show when there's people that are over 600 pounds, and it shows their daily struggles and what they eat and their lack of exercise and just their whole unhealthy lifestyle.
Well, I'm glad that being 600 pounds doesn't stop you from getting a TV show. That's really
no. These people are very successful.
There was a documentary or like a short series about it was called The Half Ton Man. About a guy who weighed like half a ton.
Mm-hmm. And he ended up getting married.
Which is nothing compared to these 600-pound guys.
Right. Well, he just literally laid on the bed and watched TV all day while his wife brought him food.
No, I remember that
married.
One. Yeah.
Good for him.
Okay, no, the thing is, he married the lady that gave him sponge baths.
Yeah, something like that. It was really weird.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever had sex. Like, I think he said that they had never had sex.
Maybe that was just something that she was also never really into. So
and he married,
it was a worked out system.
He married her from his bed. They brought him out into the street and they just put white bed sheets on the bed and like a white outfit on him.
Was this in like New York? Because I hear that dating in New York is incredibly hard, and I can't blame the woman if that's the case. Maybe this was before eHarmony even or Tinder.
There's a whole show about that. How I Met Your Mother.
Oh yeah. You see?
How about you, Jordan?
Shay, you skip me. Go ahead. I'll come back.
Skip you?
Yeah, I'll come back to it.
Okay, well, yeah, because we had the same, like, in the last episode. I'm afraid,
and I want to be prepared for the contingency plan.
So don't judge me, but my guilty pleasure is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Really?
Yeah.
I never would have guessed.
Are you guys being sarcastic?
No, we're not.
No?
No, yeah, like, I don't know what happened. I heard that, it's Joss Whedon, right?
Yeah, that's the guy.
So, like, I heard it was Joss Whedon. I never wanted to give it a chance when I was a kid because it looked like this is going to sound messed up, but it looked like a girl's show when I was a kid. So I never bothered to watch it. But then I heard it was Joss Whedon, and I heard that the writing was really good. And I watched a couple episodes.
Did you watch Powerpuff Girls growing up?
I did.
All right, well, I'm just trying to get, like, where the line was for you.
Well, Powerpuff Girls was cool. They beat up bad guys.
Yeah, no, I heard they did a lot of that, but, so did Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Right?
Don't act like you've never watched it, Jordan.
I mean, if we're just going by titles as a kid, you saw Powerpuff Girls, sounds interesting. The Vampire Slayer. Sounds like it's got a lot of will they, won't they.
I don't know. I might have seen a few episodes, but I remember my dad didn't talk very highly of the show either, so... And, that was kind of a nail in the coffin, so to speak.
Yeah.
But, I actually enjoyed this. I actually enjoyed the show. If you can get past the first season's kind of the creature feature season. So once you get past there, it actually starts getting a decent plot line. But it is cheesy to the max.
Can I tell you I've never seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
That's perfectly fine. Come on over.
Yeah, okay.
We'll watch it.
Well, if this is what it takes to get an invite from you, yeah, sure, I guess I can show
You're
up.
You're always welcome at my house, Jordan.
As soon as the recording's off. All right. Well, I think my guilty pleasure show, or at least, does it count if it's not a thing anymore?
Yeah, it counts.
I'd like to say this is probably the most embarrassing show that I watched for as long as I did. It was red face right now. Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, I watched that for the first 3 seasons.
The whole first 3 seasons?
The first 3 seasons.
That's quite the commitment.
Now, what is it about that show that you
like? It really
like?
was a commitment.
What was it about the show itself?
The funny thing is, I remember hating it for the 3 seasons. So the first season was like just all about, don't worry guys, as soon as we hit season 2, things are about to get real interesting. So I stuck around for it. So by the time I'm like maybe 4 episodes into season 2, I start to realize this is really misleading. This is not big. It didn't grab itself by the bootstraps. And then my thought was, now I'm in too deep. I've got to keep watching this show. I've already spent so many hours. I can't stop now. I've already wasted so much time.
This is such a great story.
So now I'm watching every episode of it, and my arms are crossed, and I'm just looking down, and I'm really mad while I'm watching. I'm like, well, that's dumb. Well, that's dumb too. And then I watched the next episode. I'm like, well, that's really dumb. And so it just became a weekly me staring at the TV for an hour, just going like, huh, idiots, why'd you do that?
It's like when you watch Maury, right?
Well, yeah, it was like when you watch Maury.
Same reactions.
And so it ended with me after season 3 of it, where Peter Pan was Rumpelstiltskin's dad, who is immortal because he's a bad guy, and Peter Pan's shadow also kind of a jerk. And I thought, I really need to stop now before this gets like in too deeper, because I haven't been enjoying this for like I've dedicated hours to being miserable because I was stubborn.
Now I'm not really too familiar with Once Upon a Time. Is it anything like? Did you ever read that comic book series, Fables?
No, I didn't read Fables, but I know what you're talking about. Once Upon a Time is like, imagine you've lost pieces of like 20 different puzzles, but you found all 20 of the pieces. Like, this is of the ocean, this one is of a fair, and you still try to fit those pieces together despite not being from. That's Once Upon a Time.
From what it sounds like every like every like. There are so many authors out there that love to do their twists on fairy tales.
And we all love universes. We all love it when everything's in the universe. But it's just kind of like, how is Frankenstein going to deal with Snow White and Captain Hook? But I feel like everyone and their grandmother has written a story around fairy tales all colliding. And I'm kind of sick of it. You're preaching to the choir. I mean, imagine everything that you don't like about that with the budget of like $100 and like a cute like a gift card to Subway. That's what these people are working on. It's
you get
really
a piece of
bad.
Lettuce,
and from what I hear from people, they're like, it's continually getting worse because less budget and more like, God, we need more stories to pull in.
How many seasons are they on?
I think they're on like 4 or 5. I might watch one tonight so I can have my arms crossed and get angry at it, and I can.
Maybe we'll talk about this in the future.
It's so depressing. I've never been so embarrassed to say something out loud on air, and you know me. I'm pretty shameless.
That's true.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do for next week is we are going to write down some names of some television shows, like 2 apiece. We're going to put them in a hat and then all draw from the hat. And we'll let you guys know what we drew. And we will have to watch the episode, watch at least the pilot, and then come in and talk about it, whether you liked it or hated it or whatever. And that'll be our icebreaker for next week.
That's a good idea.
I think we should also get 5 more hosts and have a TV show Secret Santa. We get more microphones, we get more chairs, and we have everybody sat here. That way we can have a successful TV show Santa. We just need 5 people. It just doesn't have to be anybody in particular.
I think that weird fairy tale show, Once Upon a Time's rubbing off on you.
Yeah, baby, I'm pushing.
You're really pushing it.
So
really
what would you on a scale
too.
of 1 to 5? What would you rate? Like 5-star system. What would you rate Once Upon a Time?
I'd give it a 0. I don't know.
Oh my god!
But it's your guilty pleasure.
I'll give it a 1 because for somehow, despite how much I hated it, they were still able to get me to watch it every week to prove to them that I'm the bigger person. I don't know where the logic came in, but I was still mad and I still watched it.
And what would you rate the movie or the show that is your guilty pleasure, Ravina?
600-pound man. The 6,000.
I would rate it a 1.5, being that it's great that they have, like, they're not shy to share their lives and their struggles. But I'm also really jealous that they're more successful than me, being 600 pounds and laying in bed.
Aw.
Can I just say that you're doing good. You're in a
Yeah, I mean, you're a host of a podcast network. I'm like,
You're
this
married?
podcast is like in the top of the. It's like in the top 100.
yeah.
No, yeah,
That's
that's good.
At least the
I
top
was just a bit
1,000. We can
jealous.
say
I want a
that
TV
without a
show.
doubt.
Yeah. Well, we're constantly going in and out of the top charts on.
We're so close to being famous.
We're
Every
on the
week.
edge, right?
And then one of us says something dumb, and it goes right back to how we were. It's a full circle. All
Well,
over
yeah,
again.
after everybody hears our guilty pleasures, don't expect to be number one.
No.
Oh, well, maybe they want to. Maybe that's what the audience wants. You should let us know on Facebook or Twitter. Now, I would have to say that I give Buffy the Vampire Slayer like 2 stars, but
I hear
maybe
good
the-
things about it. I'll
the
check it
writing
out.
is good, but like it's cheese.
Can I say that the 600-pound man reminds me of like the $1 Million Man, but they just didn't have a lot of money, so they rebuilt him, but now he's just really overweight and bedridden.
I would watch that show.
Me
And
too.
on that note, when we get back, we're going to talk to you guys about Luke Cage. We are going on a break.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA. From the UFC to extreme cage fighting, they got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the GSMC Television Podcast, where we are your host, Jordan.
And I'm Real Ravina.
And I am the Shaster this episode. We'll
Okay.
see. I'm just going to throw out a bunch of DJ names and hopefully one sticks.
I've actually come up with a big list, and I hope that you ask me during the next commercial. I will hit you with it.
What are a couple? Like, just I'm very curious before we get into
Well,
Luke Cage.
as you know, Patrick Swayze was one of them.
I might go with that.
And there was also, Swayze Train.
Shazy Train, like Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train.
Yeah, there's also
That's good.
Shay and Bake.
Shake and bake.
All right. So Luke Cage. Did you
That's
guys
the
watch
one that
it?
ended
What
it.
did you think about it?
I really enjoyed Luke Cage. I'm only on episode 3 right now. I've still got a ways to go, but so far so good. I think this is actually, out of the 3, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage, this is my favorite so far. It just
I have to agree.
it really
100%.
balances the emotional with the compelling storyline with the action.
Well, and they don't go over the top with the action. Like, the action is there, but it's not the main focus of the show. And I really
No.
appreciate that.
It's
It's set up. So, like, I don't know if you guys know. Do you guys know anything about Luke Cage, like the comic books and stuff like that?
little to none, if we're being very frank.
So, Luke Cage came out in the late 60s, early 70s. And it was kind of a blaxploitation type thing in comic books, like it was focused on the streets. It was focused on, that kind of lifestyle, the thug kind of lifestyle. And he was going in and cleaning up shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was very like Shaft, right? Like Shaft, right?
Yeah.
So
Didn't know what you meant until you said it in a high-pitched voice.
No. So it has that feel, and I really appreciate this about the show. It really has that blaxploitation feel that I love those movies. They're great. And I feel like this really embraces the culture and everything of New York. And man, like I am in love with this show. Like, I think it's great. I honestly like it better than I liked Daredevil.
I think that it has the best parts of Jessica Jones and it has the best parts of Daredevil, where it has this intense action, but with characters that you really do care about. If it's me, if I'm being honest, I think Daredevil ranks 3 for me, Jessica Jones 2, and Luke Cage 1. Daredevil kind of shook me up on season 2.
I loved season 2.
The ending of season 2 felt very
Okay, well, I haven't finished
lackluster.
season 2 yet.
Okay.
I need to finish it. But as it
I'll keep my mouth
stands
shut.
right now, I like Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones. And I need to watch more of Jessica Jones. I didn't fall in love with it when I saw it.
That's okay. I didn't either. I had to force myself to watch Jessica Jones, but then it became easier as the episodes
Well, I got
went
up to episode 4, and that was when I was like, oh, okay, maybe this isn't for me.
You know, Luke Cage, what did it for me? Episode 1 was just fine and dandy. It was very necessary. I loved it. But episode 2, from what I've seen so far, and what I'm guessing is the trend at the show, it's been really just... It's packed with like just the right amount of action and just the right amount of character development, characters where you actually care as things are happening. Normally they have to wait a while to say, hey, look, care about this person, care about this person. You're getting easily affected by, any given individual character incredibly fast.
Definitely.
It's top of the game. I
know there are some questions that people have been throwing around about the show and how they feel about it and that sort of thing. And I know one of the things that was a big question once... back in the day, we talked a little bit about our anticipation for Luke Cage, and one of the big questions is it going to be boring that this invincible man can't be shot, that can't be hurt? There's really no weakness. Daredevil is a person. Yeah. He could die. Well, and Jessica Jones, same thing. Jessica Jones, I don't think can take a bullet.
She can take a lot up until a bullet, I think. Yeah, she's no Luke Cage, but she's pretty up there.
It was one of those things where it's like, how are we going to handle a show about an invincible man? And you know what? I think it handles it pretty well. I'm not getting bored with it. I normally, I'm not a big fan of, Superman for the very same reasons, and I'm very interested
I hate Superman.
Very interested to see where this is going to go. I know Ravina had some questions about the show.
Yeah,
herself.
So personally for me, I'm surprised that you haven't finished season 2 of Daredevil, because that was one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yeah, I just kind of once I saw Elektra and once the Punisher kind of phased out, I kind of lost interest. I don't really like Elektra that much.
Oh, I loved her. I loved having that female independent woman aspect in it. But for me, actually, it would be Daredevil, and then Luke Cage, and then Jessica Jones at the bottom, because I tried to get into Jessica Jones. Actually, no, I watched 10 episodes of it.
I think that's all the episodes of it.
Really?
I think it's a 10-episode show. I could be
okay,
wrong.
then I probably watched
If not, then you were so close to the finish line that
I watched
you saw
probably
it and
7
away.
episodes, and I still couldn't get in because I felt like it couldn't keep up with the pace as Daredevil.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm excited about Luke Cage is seeing his powers unravel more, because I did get a glimpse of him in Jessica Jones.
Yes.
So just to, progress on that and his character.
Well, it seems...
Can I...
Yeah.
I want to say this before we get too far away from it. When you said that you don't like Superman because of Superman being this all-powerful, invincible guy, what I really like about Luke Cage...
he's a Boy Scout.
He is a boy. That's the thing, though. Luke Cage, the reason that really pulls me in is, despite being invincible, he doesn't seem invincible, Right. It seems like things can very much get to him. Superman, it just seems like, did it again, saved the world. That didn't like that, turned it back in time by spinning fast.
Now, I've got kind of an idea about where the timeline is. It seems like Daredevil and Luke Cage are kind of happening at the same time, because it's right after the first attack with the aliens from Avengers.
Yeah.
And it seems like Jessica Jones takes place after Luke Cage.
I don't know. I think that I haven't seen too much in. I don't want to say anything with it. Oh yeah, definitely, because
this is just me speculating, because we don't really know.
I think I guess I'm past the point, because the show's out. I don't want to speculate, because there may be nothing to speculate now that it's already here.
Right.
So, but I'm interested in seeing that how that's all going to play out. And what I really do love is that I'd be interested to see one of these hero characters before the Avengers scene.
Yeah.
But I really do enjoy how it's all taken place afterwards, and people are still dealing with the aftermath of,
right.
Oh, we know about superheroes.
I think they call them specials or something. They have some word for them.
Yeah. It's like walkers.
So what were you going to say? I think we interrupted you.
Oh, I was just talking about how I liked Luke Cage more than Jessica Jones, and I'm just still watching his character progress, but it's way more easier to follow.
I would say so. There's a lot of stuff in Jessica Jones where they don't reveal a lot of her backstory until a little bit later. I know we don't really know anything about, at least where I'm at. I'm up to episode 4 of Luke Cage, and up until this point, they haven't really revealed too much of his backstory. They haven't really revealed. They've done like little flashbacks and little tidbits.
And also from his comics, we know that like he gets his powers from a prison experiment.
Well, they tell you that
right?
in the trailer, but like we haven't actually seen it yet. At least I haven't.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm excited for it. What I'm really just hoping for is that the Defenders turn out to be everything that because they really are setting the stage.
Yes. So what they are setting up for, if you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Okay, so we have the Punisher series coming out soon. We've got Daredevil. We've got Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, along with Iron Fist.
Yes, Iron Fist is on the burner.
Yeah, we've got a few characters that are all going to be turned out and made their own makeshift Avengers with the Defenders. I guess if anybody is really into comic books or not, Avengers, but with people that are less super, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see that. I think that it's going to be pretty cool. I don't know. I love what Marvel's doing. I love what Netflix is doing with Marvel. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the Marvel movies myself, and I've said this on previous episodes where I stand with Marvel, but I think Netflix Marvel is where it's at. I like these heroes that really aren't the top bill characters.
Yeah,
I like
agree.
that they're deeper, they're darker, they're grittier, and I like that Netflix is not afraid to show sex and violence. Because in a world where vigilantes exist, crazy violence and this sort of thing is going to happen. And I hate how like squeaky clean and PG-13 the Marvel movies are. Like, Netflix is definitely rated R where it should be.
Yeah.
I could agree to that.
And we are coming up on a break. When we get back, we are going to talk to you guys a little bit about How to Get Away with Murder and a personal favorite of mine, Ash versus the Evil Dead. Stick around.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch, whatever it may be.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the GSMC television podcast. You're here with Real Ravina.
And this episode, I'm the Shayster.
I'm still, Jordan. I just haven't gotten into the spirit yet.
And for today's episode, we're actually going to teach you guys something. How to get away with murder. No, not necessarily. We're not going to teach you guys anything. We do not want a lawsuit. But How to Get Away with Murder is finally back on television, and I'm really excited. I know last episode we talked about our favorite fall TV shows, and now here we are, 2 episodes in. So I know Shay actually watched How to Get Away with Murder. He took my advice.
Well,
how did you like it?
Whenever we're going to talk about a show, I make sure I at least watch a couple episodes so I can get kind of an idea and a baseline about what it is and how I feel about it. And I judge the shows before I watch them, and then I judge them after I watch them. But I'm really good. Like, I've been pleasantly surprised a lot in my life. Like, I went into Suicide Squad thinking it was going to be terrible, and I actually enjoyed it.
Don't tell me what happens.
Don't crucify me.
Don't tell me what
happens.
happens.
A lot of people hated it, but I actually enjoyed it. Now, How to Get Away with Murder is an ABC drama, and you guys all know how I feel about ABC. I'm not a big fan of ABC, but this was actually surprisingly decent. Like, I feel like this is harmless. It's a little bit of fun. I like the law and the legal aspect of it. I do not like they do the jumping around in time thing that ABC loves to do. So I have to bring my notebook, write down. Okay, so this happened here, this happened there. Because I'm a little lost. Like even by the end of the first episode, I was like, okay, so is this happening now or is this happening later? I'm a little bit lost, but.
Yeah, so How to Get Away with Murder is one of those series that you have to watch the first season before you can understand what's happening.
I watched the pilot.
Oh, you watched the pilot? Okay,
yeah.
Good. Because I'm on season 2 right now, and I was thinking, like, if you just tried to tune in at season 2, you wouldn't get what's going on versus other shows. Like, even Quantico kind of explains it, I guess, a little bit more with the flashbacks.
Well, don't they do, like, a previously on How to Get Away with Murder? Like,
yeah, they do, but they don't go as far back as they
give
should.
you your recap.
Previously on the Golden State Media Concepts television podcast.
But
That's fine.
okay, so for everyone that is watching How to Get Away with Murder and following it like I am, I would say so far I'm excited about season 2, but I feel like it's starting to get a little bit repetitive. Like how much longer can this story go on for? We already know that, Sam had an affair with Lila and had her murdered.
Scandalous.
And then
It's
now
the wrong show.
yeah, Scandal. That's a really good show too. We'll talk about that in another episode. And all these events started from that, but the main character which is Viola Davis. She's an amazing actress, but she's starting to get more complicated and dragging the students through a little more than they need to be in, and they're trying to solve their problems, but they're making them worse. But I'm just curious about how much longer this will go on for, because like Quantico and How to Get Away with Murder, it seems like the first season was the best season, and I'm only 3 episodes in on each show right now. So
Jeez, if that's the theme for
I know, because it's kind of predictable.
If that's the theme for ABC, I would hate to see what happens in later seasons of Pretty Little Liars and The Fosters. Like,
isn't there a last episode coming out soon for Pretty Little Liars? I've
they
seen on
say
their
that
Instagram.
every season. Like every season, they're like, "Yeah, it's gonna end. It's never gonna end. We'll never figure out who A is."
You watched Pretty Little Liars?
I've watched like 3 episodes.
Okay, I thought
I've
when
had-
you said 3, I thought you were going to say seasons. It was going to be like the Once Upon a Time all over.
I've dated several girls who were really into it, and so I've been dragged into that show a few times. Kicking
Isn't
and
that
screaming,
awkward?
of
You're like,
course.
yeah, my last girlfriend made me watch season 1. My last girlfriend made me watch season 2. My last girlfriend made me watch season
Well, no.
3.
It was the different girls. Like various girls have had me watch Pretty Little Liars with them, and usually it's one of those things where it's
I
like,
know, it's just funny how you're on a date with this girl, but you're like, oh yeah, with my last girl, I watched it with my last girl, and as you've gone through,
they all like
You've
it.
seen the whole series with different girls. At
yeah,
Oh, wow.
new girl every season.
I'm not a player, guys. Don't even worry.
We're just teasing.
But with that show, man, I lost my train of thought. I was going to defend myself, but I guess I can't. You guys win.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make that hard on you.
So
Yeah.
what are your perceptions of the show, Jordan?
How to Get Away with Murder is, I feel like, all right, so I watched it since season 1. I then watched season 2, or at least, but I kind of fell off around halfway through it. It felt like a show that was almost meant to be a 1-season kind of thing, despite there, being those, cliffhangers for season 2, because it started to outstay its welcome,
Yeah, overstay its welcome.
Yeah. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. It just felt like after a while, it didn't feel like the same type of show that it was when you came in. When the pilot really did, I enjoyed it. It kind of blew
And
me away.
you'd think that like a show would get better over time. You know what I mean? Like
It
with
has
more
time to
money.
develop. Well, I
and-
feel like they have this way to like. It depends on the kind of show you're doing, because that's one of those shows where it felt like we've got a really great idea. We'll figure out the rest of the details when we get to that bridge. But in the meantime.
But I know I don't like Game of Thrones, but that's the one thing I've heard about Game of Thrones is as it goes on, it gets better and better.
Oh yeah, well Z Nation too. Like Z Nation's gotten better and better. Like you guys you haven't even watched Z Nation, so we'll talk about Z Nation at some point.
Okay, but no.
It has gotten better. It was a lot worse than season 1.
I'm sure that to you, Z Nation is great, and it's gotten better to you.
It's not great. It's if you're looking for a cheese ball zombie thing, that's what you're gonna get. The technique got better. They found their niche. They found they figured out what the show was by season 2, and they've gotten more and more money.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoy it. I'm glad it's something that you can watch and feel good about when you're watching it.
We'll sit down and watch it sometime.
I know it's I'll watch it when the time comes, but I'm not looking forward to that one. It reminds me of that show iZombie, which I saw an episode.
Oh God! Don't even start me on that.
Procedural with zombies.
Yes. So what would you guys rate How to Get Away with Murder?
I'm in it again a 4 because I feel like they're kind of losing me now. Not losing me, but I'm not as interested as I initially was because I kind of know how the storyline's gonna go, and quite frankly, the previews are ruining it because it's like, oh, there's a dead body. Whose body is it? You'll find out next episode.
Well, that's every crime show.
Yeah,
right?
but it's like text
why I don't watch
us,
previews.
tweet us, hashtag. Whose body is it? I'm like, no, I don't. And can you stop showing me the preview? because I want to find out next time.
And that's why I don't watch previews. What?
They're built on
I'd
that.
I'd give the pilot a 3, and I'd give the rest of the show about a 2. I 1.5.
I've only watched the pilot, so I'm only speaking from the first episode. But on that first episode, I'm with you on that one. I'm going to give it a 3.
There's things I enjoy about it. Like, I love Viola Davis.
She's amazing.
She's been consistently like just fun to watch, even if I don't like the show itself. Like what's particularly happening, I could watch a show with her in it because she does such a great job.
Of course,
being scary.
Not just that, but like, I think in of itself, there are some problems that it has, like as far as pacing and editing and some of the special effects. But like, the acting, I think, is what sells it. So it's definitely harmless, and it gets a pass for me.
Okay, so right now you've got a 3. I've got a 3 that shifts to a 1.5 or a 2 on a good, depending on the day, and we've got a 4.
Okay, and so one last thing that we wanted to talk to you guys a little bit is Starz has the show Ash versus the Evil Dead, and so it takes place in the Evil Dead universe. What, like?
Did you not know? Oh, yeah, some years later.
30 years after.
Did you not know about Ash vs. the Evil Dead until I showed you?
No, I knew about the show. I just never had a way to watch it until recently because I don't have Starz.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to see it.
And now you got my house.
And now I knew that Sam Raimi was involved, which is great because Sam Raimi is the man, the myth, the legend. As a filmmaker, I like his stuff, and I liked Evil Dead since I was a little kid. Like I remember my some of my best friends. I was staying the night at their place, and they had all the tapes. So we did a marathon, and ever since then, like Evil Dead has held a special place in my heart for its campiness, its gory nature, and just the overall like just ridiculousness of Ash himself. And I think the show captures it really well. I've only watched a couple episodes of it. I know they're on season 3 right now.
Yeah, they're on season 2.
Oh, season 2 right now, and just I'll watch almost anything with Bruce Campbell, and I think he really makes the show something special.
I agree. I think that even when he's being at his most unlikable, he's being incredibly likable to watch. He's somebody I think that can get away with this jerkish attitude that not all characters can really pull off,
Well, and there's just something he always
he's
seems
easy to
play.
love.
He always seems to play himself. Like
yeah,
he doesn't really have much of an acting range, but like I loved him in Burn Notice. I don't know if you ever watched Burn Notice.
Didn't watch Burn Notice. Was he Bruce Campbell there too?
Kind of. Like he was an FBI agent, but he felt very Bruce Campbell-esque without all of the cheese,
Yeah.
But no, this show's a lot of fun. Looks like they spend a lot of time and detail into the little things. Like if you were to watch Evil Dead 2 and then go over to Ash versus the Evil Dead, you would feel like it's the same thing. Like it definitely feels like an Evil Dead thing, and that was something I was a little bit worried about. And I'm kind of wondering though, like as I've kind of watched it, I'm wondering how long this can go before it starts to wear a little thin.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my big.
I know
worry.
what you mean. I think that I'm all the way to season 2. I saw the premiere. I'm a big fan of it so far. I haven't wavered away from it yet.
What would you rate it?
God, I would say that consistently the show gets like a 3.5 to me to a 4.
I would give it a 4.
It kind of makes me want to go back and like take down the pilot of How to Get Away with Murder a bit, just so I can say Ash vs. the Evil Dead has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, like and from episode 1 on, it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the throwback to the old show. It's got all kinds of little member berries, but a lot of new, fresh things going on.
Yeah. There is a lot of fresh, and like they've introduced new characters, and the new characters mesh well with Bruce Campbell. Mm-hmm. And everything meshes well with this Evil Dead world, and it's kind of interesting to see the backstory of the Evil Dead. It was something that you never really asked for, but now that you're getting it, I'm glad I got it.
I'm definitely going to have to go and buy all the seasons on DVD, so that way I can go and put them with the rest of my Evil Dead collection.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch.
So because I went and saw the new Evil Dead in theaters, and like
did
Evil
you like
Dead
the
is
newest
a big.
Evil Dead?
I did.
You're just an evil knowing you, because we're friends. You seem like somebody that loves everything about you. Would point that you love the Evil Dead.
Yeah,
which is because it's campy, it's horror, It's cheesy as much as it is just fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Not so much the remake, but the remake was great in its own rights.
It definitely has its problems,
Yeah.
But I like the remake.
Well,
Now-
I mean, it definitely takes away from the campiness.
Yeah. And it looks like we're coming up on the end of the show. Now, right now, we are going to draw these little things from the hat, and we're all going to go and watch the show. And for our icebreaker next show, we are going to talk about what we've drawn from the hat. So we've all written down 2 things. We're going to pull it up. And so we are now reaching into the hat.
We're doing this right now? Okay.
Yeah, we're doing this.
Okay. Here, you can...
Everybody grab one.
All right, reaching in the bag.
Yeah, so we looked around the studio and we couldn't actually find a hat. So we had to make a makeshift hat with a backpack. It's really more of a bag. And did you grab one, Jordan?
More of a bag. It is a bag. It's not somewhat bag. It's all bag.
It's a makeshift hat.
Okay, I've got one. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, who's going to go first?
All right. I've got... I almost cursed. got Wags Miami.
Oh
Who
my
picked
gosh.
Wags Miami?
Who did that? What
That wasn't me.
what a savage.
Ravina, we're getting off to a really bad start.
Okay,
this
oh my
week.
goodness. I got the Gecko Caveman show.
Oh, God. The Geico Caveman
The
show.
Geico. Okay, great.
And I
So
got
excited.
Scandal.
Woo! 2 of mine were
Two of
pegged.
yours.
This is going to be so
I am
great.
so glad that you were the one that got the Geico Caveman show. Like, I specifically put the Geico Caveman show in there for you.
Okay,
I
whatever. You guys are
redraw
going to
mine?
pay. No.
you have to watch Wags Miami.
No. Sit down with your girlfriend and watch Wags Miami.
Sucks.
So next episode, we're going to come back and tell you guys our opinions and ratings.
Or are we
and-
gonna I'm gonna keep
Maybe.
the ones that we wrote in here in the bag, and
Okay.
we can keep adding 2.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the bag's gonna get just bigger and bigger, full of names.
Sounds good. All right, so this has been the Golden State Media Concepts television podcast.
So bummed out right now. I don't know why.
Me too.
I just thought that maybe if I'm lucky, I could get through life without watching. So
It's okay. Just pour some whiskey like Shay does. You'll be fine.
You're gonna need a lot of it, buddy. So you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, Stitcher. There is a plethora of places that you can find us. And this has been
GSMC television podcast.
I Am the Shayster,
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Real Ravina.
the Real Ravina. You heard it from us, and stay saucy, guys.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts television podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts podcast network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts podcast network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.